Yo, it's Mr. Doggy, and we're back at it again. We're going to talk about one wide receiver. We're going to talk about Malik Nabers, a rookie that got drafted 106 to the New York Giants. How's the situation? Well, we're going to talk about that because his situation is okay. Daniel Jones in 2022 actually had a relevant season. He was number 9 in quarterback, which is actually pretty good being a quarterback. Now, he had a bad year. He got injured, and now everyone doesn't like him because he has a big contract. I still haven't lost faith in him. I think Malik Nabers could do something in this offense, but we're going to go into that, and I'll make my final decision at the very end. His situation is okay, but who's around him? Who is going to take his targets? Being the 106, he has to get targets, and that's why he's going so high. He's going into second round in dynasty drafts, and he's going about the 4.5, 35.7 draft pick in redrafts. He is going in front of like the three of the 5 quarterbacks: Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, C.J. Stroud. He's going in front of Jalen Waddle, who can be a top 10 wide receiver. His ceiling is extremely high. I know he had a down year last year, but that doesn't mean he's going to be able to fail again. I think this is going to be a big jump up for Jalen Waddle. We got DK Metcalf going behind Malik Nabers as well. DK Metcalf had a down year last year. However, DK Metcalf has been an elite wide receiver, low end 2 sometimes, but he has that ceiling to be that top 10, top 12 wide receiver on the year, a wide receiver 1 on the year, and people are drafting him pretty low into the 5th round. That is a snag in my opinion. Is Malik Nabers fair to be put right there with those elite weapons just because they had their downfalls? Would you draft Malik Nabers over those kind of names? James Cook goes around there, Dalton Kincaid. Now, those I can understand, but Diggs is no longer there. So who's going to take that target share? Who's going to take that target share from them? And it has to go to Kincaid or Cook because they got drafted there. They're going to take that lead. James Cook is going to get more rushes to be able to break out more runs. We got Dalton Kincaid. He's about to be a second-year blossom. I think you should invest in him right now because next year he's going to be where Stan Laporta is in dynasties or redrafts. However, I think he is going extremely high and low at the same point. Now, this is one of the biggest boom or bust picks of the year. So it's fantasy, so sometimes you should have fun. I think having fun is honestly the biggest part of being in fantasy. You're not going to win every year. If you know fantasy, you're going to do good, but you might not win every single year. So just have fun doing it. If you want to take a little shot at Malik Nabers, hey, be my guest. If some of these guys are not here, you can bet your sweet ass I'm going to be taking my shot at Malik Nabers. But we're going to go through some tweets and we're going to talk about how I feel about them, what they talking about, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. So we're going to go down here. So Snoop Dogg Dynasty Society says the safest rookie picks are always elite wide receivers. Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Nabers, and Romeo Odunze. Now Romeo Odunze this year in redrafts, I don't know if I would select him just because he's third fiddle on a pretty stacked offense. You got Swift there. He just got paid a pretty good hefty amount. You got Keenan Allen. He's a little bit old. I think his cliff could be coming soon this year or by far next. DJ Moore is still a dog. He's going to be an elite wide receiver, so I don't see him falling off anytime soon. But this guy says that they are bust-proof and they will come all in the top 10 NFL draft. Their dynasty fantasy football value will hold strong after 1 year, regardless of performance. And I 100% agree about this. Just because they have a down year this year doesn't mean it's not worth selecting. And if you don't select them, you could probably buy them a little bit if someone's not really wanting to wait that long for him to blossom. However, I do think that picking him now is actually, any of those 3, picking them is actually really, really amazing in your dynasties. You will get them for a pretty good amount. I mean, I think Marvin Harrison goes in the top 12. Malik Nabers goes into the second, and Romeo Odunze goes into the third. Depending on how you want to draft, those are not bad picks. I actually enjoy those 3 picks, and if I could, I would on all my teams, but I can't. However, if Malik Nabers drops to me in the 3rd round, you can bet your sweet ass I'm drafting him because I like the upside. However, if he doesn't drop to me, there's plenty of other candidates I can select that would be perfect in the 3rd round. So, without further ado, let's go to the next one. Catching up on, this is BDG Really good account if you guys don't watch. I really love these guys. They go deep dive. They talk about a lot of stats and statistics and how they feel about it, and they're very smart gents. So I would really recommend going to their channel and watching it. But speaking of what they're talking about, catching up on some content, oh my god, this fantasy stat from BDGE is nuts. Malik Nabers is officially off my board, redraft leagues. What's his ceiling and Daniel Jones really about? Excuse me. So 2019, Darius Slayton, wide receiver 37. 2020, Sterling Shepard, wide receiver 44. Kenny Golladay, 79. Richie James, 50. Darius Slayton, 47. Yes, I understand Daniel Jones and his wide receivers are not always the greatest. But I feel like the stat is very deceiving because none of these guys are truly elite. They have given him some wide receivers that are... I'm going to let you fill in the blanks. But now you got a 6th overall Malik Nabers. He would be the first wide receiver taken off the board if Marvin Harrison Jr. was not here. So I think the statistic is great in a sense, but none of these wide receivers are Malik Nabers. So let's move on. There has been 7 wide receivers since 2010 to be drafted in the top 10 after declaring early. Every single one of them have posted 850 receiving numbers as a rookie. 5 out of 7, 71% have 1,000 yards or more. This is Malik Nabers' tweet. What are the chances Malik Nabers hits 1,000 yards? Well, saying how easy it is to get to 1,000 yards nowadays, I think it is highly possible that Malik Nabers gets to 1,000, especially with the room around him. Who's their running back? Singletary. Who's their other wide receivers? Hyatt? I mean, yeah, Hyatt's pretty good for someone on a 3rd or 4th string. Malik Nabers is going to get a lot of targets. I hope he's healthy throughout the season. I would love that. But this is Daniel Jones' shine, make or break season. Do you think Daniel Jones is not going to try to use his targets and try to win over the job in New York and try to stay there? I highly expect that Malik Nabers is going to be a candidate for Rookie of the Year. I know it's gross to say, but Daniel Jones is a value. He is quarterback 9 in fantasy points per game and had 700-plus rushing yards with 0 weapons in 2022. They added Malik Nabers. Jalen Hyatt is going into year 2, and Wan'Dale Robinson is healthy. Let's watch that real quick. Slow ball. This is not the video I watched. I don't know what happened to the video, but it's not the one we watched. However, cheers because I'm leaving this in. Let's watch it again. Look at that. Looks good to me. Going to the next one. Malik Nabers can do it all. I think he has a tremendous weapon for us. He can do everything. There's not much he can't do. Really, from route running standpoint, he's a dynamic and strong, fast, explosive, and catches the ball very well. Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones just found his number 1, and I think Daniel Jones is about to boom. So this is the year to invest, in my opinion. And going back to what I said at the beginning, would I draft him at 35.7 ahead of all those other guys? Yes. Yes, I would. Because like I said earlier, I love to have fun. And that is fun to me, being able to take a risk on a rookie that has some extreme potential on an offense that is lackluster, to be honest. But there's no one around him to be able to take those touches from him. However, with that being said, this is Mr. Doggy. This is where I sit. Malik Nabers is most likely going to be on my team in 2024 and hopefully on my team in Dynasty drafts. Have a good one. Boy.